Who am I? So my name is Ashley Kekona. I was born and raised in Hawaii. And around 18 years old, I decided it's time for me to experience seasons. So I went to the other side of the United States, to New Hampshire, and I studied economics and Chinese. And during my time at college, I was a part of a hip-hop dance group. I really like dancing, and I've always liked playing tennis. I play with my family and my friends at home. And in general, I love anything related to art. And a year and a half ago, I came to Tokyo to work in a startup company. At this startup company, I interned at while I was in college. And there, because it's a small team, I got a chance to be involved with all aspects of the business. And it was really fun. And in particular, one project that I worked on was a system project. So I had the opportunity to work with very talented software engineers, senior software engineers, and they're the ones who got me excited about coding. So that's why I'm here today. Our startup company was in the inbound business, inbound industry. I don't know if you're not familiar with it, it's part of the travel industry. And before I joined this company, I didn't know too much about travel. I wasn't crazy about traveling to places. And most of my experiences with travel was heavily influenced by my best friend in college, who visited almost every single country in the world. She could even tell you if there was a sign on the side of the road, or sometimes even if there was a parachute flying over the side of the ridge. And this is because she traveled in Google Maps. She was a very avid virtual traveler. And for some people, this is enough. But for other people like me, there's something that is not enough. And there's a reason why we go from one place, let's not forget the Pegman, to another place, and again to another place. And there's some kind of drive that we have, and this is that we want to experience things ourselves. It's not maybe a coincidence that my route of life kind of looks like a Japanese fan, and I'm currently in Japan. But some things are just meant to be. And this is something I learned being a part of the travel industry, is that millennials are paying much more for experiences. They're traveling, they want to meet the people, they want to, interact with people there and see things for themselves. So even when people request guides, they don't want people to tell them something that they can look up themselves on the internet, because all the information is already available to them. And they don't have to go there to receive that. And the same kind of trends can be seen in the tech world. Before I move on, I just wanted to briefly share with you what the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality. VR stands for virtual reality, and a lot of times it's when we immerse ourselves into a completely digital world. So we're transported into a digital world. And a lot of times you will see people with headsets. Augmented reality, we take a part of the digital world and bring it into our own reality. So a lot of times you'll see something like a smartphone. And in virtual reality, you're not able to recognize yourself as yourself in this virtual world. So for example, here we have, that's the user's hand, but it's rendered as a different model or image. And augmented reality people, the most popular or maybe well-known augmented reality app today is Pokemon Go. So this is in the streets. You see the street that you see in front of you, but Pokemon also there. This is an interesting diagram that I found, and I based a lot of my ideas off of this. It maps out the changes of how we characterize different ages and time periods. So we start with the age of manufacturing, and I interpreted this as this is when we create products, or products are efficiently created. Next, we transition to the age of distribution, and I took this as these products are now being delivered physically. Airplanes and ships. In the next stage, age of information, the technology of how to create these products are made accessible to everyone, or more easily accessible. In the age of a customer, we're reevaluating these products and kind of returning and refactoring. And I decided to look at advancements in extended reality along with this timeline. And virtual reality and augmented reality have actually been around maybe relatively recently, but from before. This is when, around the time virtual reality became like more popular concept, augmented reality, but we didn't really see huge advancements in these areas until around this time, 2010s, and that's when we're reevaluating our products. So the demand is changing, and there's a shift in what people want. And that's, of course, based off of in technology that was made available previously. Now, this is around the time when Pokemon Go and virtual reality headsets became very popular. And you may think that these technologies are hard to get started with and difficult to use, but I'm hoping that today you'll, if you can take away anything, it's that they're not as difficult as you think, and hopefully you'll be excited about it. So to show this, I have a small demo for AR. And does anybody have 1,000 yen? It's okay if you donate it to our snack bar. I have 1,000 yen for please. It may be better if you use this on your phone. This is the idea of augmented reality. And if you, because it's 3D and it has tracking, even if you turn it, it'll be able to render the images in the correct direction. So I dancing people. And the reason why I chose 1,000 yen is because I thought maybe if you're in the line trying to decide whether or not to buy something, or you're just waiting, you can motivate yourself by just seeing people dancing on it. Less guilty of spending it. So these are the advancements in virtual reality and AR, but I thought there has to be other aspects that make an experience immersive. And of course, ideally, I thought it'd be really cool if we could build something where you could physically interact with the digital world, so you can perceive, touch, and sense. But that may be for a future, some kind of different technology. And I thought immediately what's realistic now, maybe another way we can interact with the digital world is by speech and sound. So that's why That's why I decided to look at speech recognition. And it's interesting to see that speech recognition also developed in a similar way to extended reality. So we see it became a thing around the same time. And within this relatively short amount of time, we saw major advancements. But it wasn't until this time, age of the customer, when we're reevaluating products, that we see speech recognition applications that we know of today. And what applications are we talking about? For example, Google. He's like, okay, Google. I was hoping someone's phone would react to it. Yes, something that we all see. It might be pre-installed on our phones. There's Bixby for Android. Alexa. I have this same model, the Echo Dot, at home. You can do shopping, hear the news, just with voice commands. So, and to exemplify, to show you just how advanced speech recognition is, these are two applications I thought were really interesting. One is called Shazam, it's popular in America, but you can just, the app will listen to the current music playing, and with a very short clip, it could be in the middle of a song, or it could be there could be other noise in the background. It'll tell you exactly which remix or which cover or version of the song that you're currently playing is. All the time there'll be the lyrics of the song and everything. Yes. And another application that has advanced speech recognition is Talk. I don't know if people know this. It's popular in Japan, and it will translate real time what you say. And you might think that this is also difficult to kind of incorporate into your own applications, but I will show you another demo. This time it doesn't involve money. And for example, if you say spin, spin, it recognizes me saying spend, spin, jump. That's the other one. Stop. Stop. Enunciation is very important. Okay, I'll try. Spin. Okay, well, afterwards, if you're interested, I can show you the demo more. But this is a problem that a lot of developers were facing, is that it's really hard to distinguish, exactly what you're saying, especially if there's white noise, how clearly you speak. You might pick up someone else's voice. And of course, if you had really expensive equipment where you have headsets, mixed reality, then it's a little better. But I wanted to look at how easy it was to use these technologies with applications that are easily accessible to all of us. So I'll be showing you how I created these apps. Technologies, I use three main technologies. Unity, where I compiled everything. And through Unity, I incorporated Vuforia for augmented reality, AR, and IBM Watson for speech integration. A little bit about Unity. Unity is a popular engine often used to create games. There's a free version called Unity Personal. And actually in 2018, almost half of the games, the new mobile games that were released were created in Unity. So that was very interesting. It's also cross-platform, meaning that if you create one game or application for an iPhone, you can easily use the same scene for Androids or laptop. And what Unity allows us to do is you can create a 2D game like this, just as easily as a 2D game like this. And the reason is because they have a lot of assets. They have a store, and you can kind of download presets, textures, materials, and easily manipulate them. I don't know, those of you in the front might be able to see this Unity Learn, but they also have a lot of tutorials. They walk you step by step how to create it. And they also allow you to create 3D scenes and applications. So Unity gives developers the power to control what they call 3D game objects. And in this really beautiful scene, the 3D objects might look complicated, but it's just the same as what you saw me use, which was a sphere or a cube. And this is the Unity interface. When you first open up the application, this is kind of the default scene. They have a project directory, so you can see all your files in the folder. And if you drag your scene to the top, you can access each component within that folder. And on the right, there's an inspector view where you can control, manipulate different aspects of each component. So the color, the shape, you can add scripts. I use C# scripts. And at the top, if you press play, you can run how the game might look. And while you're running the game, you can check and debug easily with the console on the bottom. So everything from kind of writing code to or adding scripts and like manipulating actual objects and compiling and debugging and testing. You can do all within Unity, so it's very easy to use. And a little bit about Vuforia. This is what I use for AR. Vuforia is another popular engine. They also have a free version, and they're known for being easily integrated with other things like Unity. And they're known for like image recognition, object tracking, and plane detection. So all the advanced technology you would need to create augmented reality. And this is an image of a coin. All the yellow marks is what Vuforia is telling us where this image is best trackable. And as an example, the image that I chose, I fed this to Vuforia, and it analyzed it, and it returned to me all the points that had best tracking. So tracking was earlier when I turned the 1,000 yen around. The figures were able to stay in the proper orientation. And Vuforia will also give you a rating of how augmentable it is. 1,000 yen was highly augmentable. I was like, great, I'll use it. I originally wanted to do it on my hand, so I took a picture of my hand and uploaded and tried to make different contrasts, but it had like 0 or 1. Unfortunately, that's probably for further improvements of making maybe objects or planes more detectable. And then finally, you can just add 3D game objects onto where you want on your image, so it will appear in that location. So now you know how to create an AR and how to incorporate speech. IBM Watson is kind of like a supercomputer. It's a computer system that's able to think like a human. And Watson was actually named after the founder of IBM, Thomas J. Watson. And a lot of artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing went in to create Watson. But why? Why did they want to advance Watson? And this was because they wanted him to participate in Jeopardy! So actually, in 2011, Watson won Jeopardy! For those of you who don't know what Jeopardy! Is, it's like a quiz show. And this is Watson in the middle. Watson won $1 million. So how can we use Watson? IBM allows us to use a lot of different services, Watson services, and they can involve tone analyzing, language processing, language translation, and what I decided to use was speech to text. And you can give it add different commands. I chose jump, spin, and stop. So if you want to try it later. But what's next? So up until now, we've seen two different parts of what makes an immersive experience kind of immersive. And this was extended reality and speech recognition. But I think what will happen from now and beyond, we kind of seen these two develop parallelly. And currently, it's not as easy to put them together. But most likely what lies beyond and what will create our immersive experiences is putting these together and combining different advanced technologies so we can get immersive experiences. So hopefully you're just as I guess now you're motivated to try maybe Unity, or you're excited about AR, VR, or speech recognition, and you're supposed to. I just want to leave you by saying, welcome to the age of experience. These are a few references. Thank you.